Hello, Coffee Chat Squad. What is up? It is Monday, December 10, 2018, and welcome to Adulting with Coffee Chat, Part 6, Self-Care Amidst Transition, with guest speaker Jennifer Cowan. Welcome, guys. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. It is a beautiful, sunny Monday afternoon here in the Midwest. And though I wish I could be in sunny California right now, I'll take what I can get. The high today is 30 degrees. The sun is out. It is beautiful. We are thriving. You are thriving. I'm thriving. Cannot wait to just get into our conversation today. Before I bring Jennifer on, I want to let you know that Jennifer is the first person on Coffee Chat to be a guest and to appear 3 times. So thank you to Jennifer for opening up her story to all of us, her home to us, and for sharing her knowledge and her wisdom and insight to the Coffee Chat Squad. Now, today's topic is self-care amidst transition. Now, whether you guys graduated college, whether you finished up your academic career, or are taking a different turn in life, we tend to neglect ourselves and put our self-care outside and throw it out the window. And that's not necessarily a good thing. And so Jennifer's here, and she's going to be talking about self-care, what self-care means to her, and the experiences that led her to her definition of self-care, and how her story can help you. Okay, especially during the holiday season, Christmas is a few weeks away. We can tend to neglect ourselves with a few extra Christmas cookies, etc. Yeah, you know what I mean? I know. I've been there. Trust me. I get it. But self-care is important. And so before I bring Jennifer on, I just want to let you know that if you guys have any questions, please chime in. And whether you are coming to us for the first time, Coffee Chat is the safe, inclusive community in which I, your founder, Maggie, bring you guests and talk about the things that many people don't want to talk about after graduation. We help millennials, recent college graduates, and young adults, new job seekers with this transition in their lives. We talk about depression, we talk about mental health, we talk about getting rejected from jobs, all of that and more. Live, raw, unfiltered information to bring you guys the tools for empowerment, growth, and change. Okay? So, self-care is a big cornerstone of Coffee Chat, and so I'm going to bring on our guest today. She is a registered sleep specialist at Rush University Medical Hospital in downtown Chicago. Ladies and gentlemen, making her third appearance here on Coffee Chat, please welcome Miss Jennifer Cowan. Jennifer? One moment as the Instagram. Hello, Jennifer.
Hi, Maggie.
How are
Good to
you?
see you. I'm good. I'm good.
It is so great to see you.
Sunshine today.
I know, all this natural sunshine is beautiful, isn't it?
It is. It's wonderful.
Oh,
It's one of those natural self-care things we can do for ourselves and enjoy the sunshine.
I agree. It's so beautiful. Well, since you mentioned self-care, Jennifer, why don't we get down to business and talk about self-care? What do you say?
Let's get down to it.
All right.
Go for it.
All right. Grab your coffee, grab your water, grab your tea, everybody. Let's get down to business with self-care with Jennifer Cowan. So, Jennifer, during your first appearance here on Coffee Chat a few weeks ago, you mentioned that you began grad school, but had to discontinue for various reasons. Can you take us back to that time in grad school? Paint us all a picture of what your life looked like at that time.
Sure, and I think this probably applies to any point in your life. This particular time for me was, yes, when I had just graduated college, and I had a lot of expectations of myself. I felt I had expectations of others, and so I made a big transition in taking on a few life stressors at the time. You know, anytime you're making a big move, anytime you are, whether it's starting a new job or starting, graduate school, and simultaneous for me an internship. So it mimicked being I was working and going to class at the same time. So I had kind of that, I don't know, the trifecta effect of it. Starting a new job, starting graduate school, and moving to the big city at the same time. So what I was doing was basically just going home and studying, and then just wash and repeat. So I moved into a different routine, and I did not have in place this buzzword we have now of self-care. But it is so important. So I'm so glad that this day and age in society that we're prioritizing ourselves so that we are better human beings. But yes, I did not have any self-care in place. And I'm sure it probably would have made a bigger difference in how I actually was able to cope with and handle several of these transitions at once. So I'm glad that we have a space where maybe people, before you even are able to recognize you're going to be going into a stressful situation, and are able to even know that you're going to need your self-care routine more than ever.
Right. And so after exiting grad school, you went through a lot emotionally and physically because you were, going to class, starting an internship, and that, doing two major things like that back to back is pretty draining emotionally and physically. After all of this ended, how did you pick yourself up and put yourself back together emotionally? Because when I graduated college, I was an emotional mess. It took me about 6 months or so to get back onto my feet emotionally. So how did you put yourself back together again?
Right. Well, for me, I was super excited going into graduate school and moving to the city of Chicago.
Yeah.
So when, yes, my expectations didn't meet reality, that's when I fell apart. I became very overwhelmed, and I struggled when I hadn't really struggled or felt like a failure before. I mean, certainly we all go through challenges, but if you end up overcoming them, you feel like you're prepared. So this was the first time that I felt like a failure, and it was a big one because it was my career. It was what I'd been studying all along to do to be an adult. So, yes, I went into a deep depression. And when you're that age, a lot of times you don't recognize what is going on because you're too deep into your own head.
Right.
Listening to that bully in your head telling you that you just ruined your life. You aren't capable of succeeding, those types of things. So I felt fortunate. This was one of the first times that I actually summoned up the strength and the courage to reach out for help through a counselor or a therapist, because often you have to even get yourself stable enough to even start doing, making progress. So I also was fortunate to have my brother lived in the city as well, and my parents are several hours away. So through writing, journaling, emails, at the time, my mother could tell that I was not in the right space in my head, and she made my brother come over and kind of get me going. So I was for community, that support around me, so that I could start moving in the right direction again.
Right. And so, Jennifer, 1 second. Okay, hold on. Somehow they lost me on here. Okay. Okay. 1 second. Okay, we just lost focus for just 2 seconds, but that's okay. Tech stuff happens. That's fine.
Well, it's one of those things you
have to embrace change, as you talked about a few weeks ago.
Absolutely.
And
having the technology to communicate is a huge outlet now for people and a huge resource.
I agree.
People, which is one of the self-care things. I mean, I certainly have learned some things that I do personally anytime I am, feeling overwhelmed, because things are going to get out of control. Life will get out of control, or at least your perception of out of control. And there are things where I go back to basics for. I don't know if you guys ever heard, and I'm sure many of you have, it's not like Maggie and I are necessarily reinventing the wheel here, but I'm certainly someone who has taken advice from others, and it works. So that's why there are these self-care things to do. But
so what does self-care mean to you, Jennifer?
Yeah, well, what it is it's a lot of things, emotionally, physically. But emotionally, what I do to get myself back on track is every day, the first thing I do, I make my bed.
I do the same thing.
Something because it sets yourself up right then and there that you created a change.
Right.
For the better. I mean, that's the first thing I do. Even before I use the restroom, I make my bed, and it already sets me up for, there's something that I was able to control and do for the day. So that's one of the first things that I do for self-care. Another thing, and you've spoken about this many times, is journaling, writing down. Well, for me, it's writing. Yes, I can type them out as well, but for me, writing actually forces me to slow down my brain and focus on what I'm doing. It makes a not only a mental but a physical connection. And a lot of times just writing things down, I no longer need to yell those things.
Right.
I no longer, it's kind of like, cathartic to get that out. And always a real quick thing that to do when it's in the moment for prioritizing yourself and taking care of yourself is actually deep breathing. I know people are just like, oh, what's breathing going to do? But it actually forces you to take back control of your body.
Really?
Because your body in a stressful situation is, it's that fight or flight response. It's that adrenaline that immediately takes over. But when you actually have to focus on your breathing, it forces you actually overcome that system in your body. So that's why people say take 10 deep breaths, before you respond, think about something. And also for myself, doing something kind for somebody else. People, there was a recent research done where people were given money either to spend on themselves or spend on others. And the people who reported they were happiest were the ones who spent on other people. So if you can do something kind for someone else, and maybe it's just smiling at somebody, a stranger, saying hello, opening a door for somebody. Those things can get you kind of, moving in the right direction, taking control of your life when it feels out of control, and giving yourself some success. And those are things that I do. Also, of course, it comes down to physically, what you put in your mouth and what you do with your body.
Especially now during the holiday season, when that kind of 80-20 rule can get flipped around.
I don't know about you, but I'm kind of feeling gross because
I got the sweaty gym hair going on, and I feel a little gross.
I'm feeling just kind of icky because I haven't been using food as fuel. I've been using it more
for comfort,
in the emotional sense. And yes, I'm actually not being as physical, but as far as like exercise as I have been, because again, a lot of us are overcommitted. So like this morning, I got up and I was focused on, okay, make your bed, drink your lemon water, have your coffee, because that's my
routine.
Personal. Yeah, exactly. And get out of my PJs, because on my day off like today, I want to sit around in my PJs. And so you helped me make sure I had to get out of my PJs so that I will actually
You're
do
welcome.
Something. Yeah.
You're welcome.
So,
if it weren't for you, I'd still be in PJs at the office. And Jennifer, let me just add, for those of you who are just tuning in, it is Adulting Part 6 with guest speaker Jennifer Cowan. We are talking about self-care amidst transition, and Jennifer was just talking to us about what self-care means to her. And she's mentioned how she's had to, pick herself up from a difficult time after grad school, and how grad school has helped her learn about self-care. And so you were saying, Jennifer, about making your bed and having this routine.
A lot of, and a lot of, self-care, it's important. It's not about thinking of yourself as, selfish. It's a priority. You're prioritizing what's important, that you're showing yourself and others that caring for yourself is
important,
and you deserve that. Absolutely. Because anytime you're on the airplane, you know how they say, put on your oxygen first before you help somebody else? It's because you can't help somebody else if you're incapacitated.
Correct.
So that's, the extreme of thinking of this as, self-care, but it's true. When you are able to make yourself better and more centered and taken care of, then you are a better employee. You're a better friend. You're a better, wife or mother. All those roles that all of us play, you're a better version of yourself.
Right. And so, given that, Jennifer, what advice do you have for the Coffee Chat squad listening now and later on in the replay who may be struggling emotionally? What steps should they take at the base level? What should they do?
Sure. Start with the things you actually can control. Start with yourself. Start with your environment, and start small. Start with one thing.
Right.
Like I said, most important thing I do every day is I start with making my bed. That's what I do. And there was somebody I heard today said they always, I don't know if you saw the same thing I did, but they always step out of their house with their right foot. That's their strong foot. And
right.
Foot forward. I mean, we're talking small things that when a lot of people who are going through a rough time that you can fall back on, that are always there. Whether it is journaling, your community. Who is that? Is that your church? Is that your girlfriend? Is that your pet? The things that you can always fall back on. That because once you establish that base, you are able to get your life back moving in the direction that wanted to.
Right. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, Jennifer. Does anybody listening now have any questions, whether you're on Facebook Live or Instagram Live? Does anyone have any questions about what Jennifer has shared with us today? Come on, we'll wait.
Well, I see one person said something very nice about what you put in your body is so important.
Yes, that's my friend Anna. Hi, Anna. Hi, sweetheart.
And respect, and that is true. And I love that as a society now that we are focusing on ourselves and putting good things into your body. You know, that's a whole nother coffee chat session, but
you'll be there for that one.
Movement. Yeah, movement and using food as fuel are big ones there, and those are things you have control over.
Right. We're always in control, and I feel like when transitions happen, it changes our identity, and it makes us feel lost and that we don't have any control over anything. But what you're saying today, that's completely not true. We do have control. It's just about starting small and starting,
right.
You know, tangible goals.
This, you know, routine of self-care, finding what self-care means to you early in life will help you throughout life. Because I jumped in on self-care later in the game, and you know, continues to help out in any situation, you know, whatever's big or small. So I certainly encourage people to try different aspects of, you know, because you can Google self-care. There's going to be lists of ideas and things to do self-care. So you experiment around with the different ones and see what works for you, and have that routine base, and start small, build from there.
Right. I agree, Jennifer. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for coming on for the third consecutive time. Yay! Thank you so much. Thank you.
It was fun, as usual.
And if you guys have any questions for Jennifer, please put them in the comments below here on Instagram or on Facebook, and send your thoughts and inquiries to thecoffeechat@yahoo.com, thecoffeechat@yahoo.com. And hey, if you want to be a guest on Coffee Chat, let us know. We'd love to have you. And so,
yes, everyone has something to contribute. You know, what's that commercial that's out now that I love? It's like, share your gifts.
Share your gifts, share your story. I agree. Thank you so much, Jennifer, guys. Thank you. Round of applause to Jennifer. Thank you so much for coming, Jennifer, and for sharing your story, for opening up your home, sharing your day with us, sharing your story with us. We love you from my heart to you. I love you, my friend. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you. You too, Jennifer. And so, guys, tune in next week for Adulting, Part 7, The Letter, the holiday edition of Coffee Chat. Tune into the holiday edition next week at 1 p.m. Central. We're going to talk about writing a letter. And no, it's not for a relative. It is for your own personal reflection. We'll see you guys next week, next Monday at 1 p.m. Central, right here on the Coffee Chat Instagram page. Bring a pen, bring a paper, and we're going to get down to business. See you next week, guys. Bye.